So then kind of going on to a few other things that I've done that I can recommend. When I'm in Georgia, I will kind of get my blood work done relatively frequently. Um, the great thing about Georgia and is that you can have a nurse come round to my apartment. The cost will be about $100, and that includes the cost of all the blood work as well. I will do like 10 different tests on all of the different, like, basically like to cover like all of my internal organs, my testosterone levels, my cholesterol, like essentially all of the markers um, that can kind of indicate your levels of health. When you do all of this blood work, you kind of get a load of just raw data dumped on you, and unless you're a doctor or have like an understanding of what all of these metrics mean, um, a lot of the data is kind of meaningless to you. They give you like an average of kind of where you're supposed to be, but there's not really any insight into how to improve it, or is that average even a good place to be? Should you work on like what should you work on lowering and increasing? So that is where I'll introduce you to another tool named Inside Tracker. This is just another application where you go and get your own blood work done, and you then plug in all of the data into the app, and it tells you how you can work on improving this, if it's good, if it's bad, what type of maybe internal organs these certain measurements impact. I can't remember the exact price. It was $120. You upload your blood results, and they tell you everything that is kind of going on inside of you. They make sense of that data for you through an app. It gives you all types of graphs and dashboards and so on, for you to really like understand what's going on. So that is like a super interesting thing. And again, that kind of goes into like based on utilizing your locations to their particular strengths. So whenever I'm in Georgia, like I will always kind of make a habit, just because it's so convenient, just to have like my blood work done regularly. So yeah, Inside Tracker is kind of really good for helping you, telling you what is going on, making sense of all of that data that is dumped on you through blood work, and then telling you what you need to do. And also, if you're not sure what type of blood tests to get, you can go on their website as well, and you can just sign up. You don't have to pay anything, and it will tell you if you want to know more about your internal organs. These are the ones you should get. If you want to measure your testosterone levels, this is the information and the type of blood test you should do. And yeah, and you can just do like a completely comprehensive overview of your entire body. Other tests as well that I've done, that I suggest. I did a food intolerance test. I literally recommend everyone to do it. I now try to do one like every single year. I literally have intolerances to pretty much everything. There's no over exaggeration at all. So about 2 years ago, it's often while you'll see my face being inflamed. It means that I've eaten inflammatory foods. So I'm intolerant to dairy, I'm intolerant to gluten, I'm intolerant to milk alternatives like coconut milk, soya milk, um, almond milk, everything like that. The only milk that I'm actually not intolerant to is camel's milk. And I've not come across anywhere selling camel's milk yet. I have intolerances to beef. The only thing I'm really able to eat is chicken, vegetables, and seafood. And I'm not a big fan of seafood. So it's really, really quite limited. So it was like $300 to do this test. I did it out in Dubai. Again, they'll come around your apartment, they'll take your blood, and they'll extract your blood, and you'll get the results in a couple of days. And it's also important to know that it does change. When I did it 2 years ago, I had reactions to milk and to dairy, but I didn't have any reaction to coconut milk. So then for the past year, I was drinking my coffee with coconut milk. And when I did my more recent food intolerance test a couple of months ago, I realized that I now had an intolerance to coconut milk. So you need to have essentially a very balanced diet. As the thing that they told me is, if you start to introduce too much of a certain type of food into your diet, your body can start to develop an intolerance to it, which is also why I developed an intolerance to beef as well, because I was trying out a carnivore diet for about 3 months of last year, and I'm pretty sure that's how I've developed an intolerance to steak. But again, I think to have like that type of information available to you, it just makes complete sense to do it, even if you don't do it every year or you can't afford to do it every year. Just have an understanding of the type of the type of foods that your body um, just doesn't agree with. So then, kind of moving on to like fitness in general. Like I'm not going to give any like workout advice. I just don't feel that I'm qualified to. Like if anyone's interested in what I try to do as workouts, like um, I enjoy doing like compound exercises, bench press, deadlifts. One workout that I will say, again, not advice, but something that I have been doing recently is doing chest and back on the same day, which, as you can imagine, is pretty stressful for the system. I actually got this off of like an old article from Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he was saying that it would mean he could kind of double the amount of training that he could do on both his chest and back by bringing them in together. So going in from like a superset of like bench press straight into like barbell rows or into pull-ups. Of course, it's quite stressful, but it's a great workout and you feel really good after it. So that's just one thing I've been playing around with recently, is training like major muscle groups together. Like the only point I would make, this is kind of an obvious one, is I try to make fitness as convenient for me as possible. So, for example, right now I'm living in like this apartment, and on the 8th floor there's a gym, there's a swimming pool, there's a steam room, so it's just super convenient. There's kind of like no excuse. Like this morning I've already gone down and done a workout. After I record this, I'll probably go down and sit in the steam room for 30 minutes and then maybe like go in the swimming pool later on, like this afternoon. So just by making it so convenient is really good.